Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. Testing. Look, I didn't think I was going to start the video this way. I had a whole script planned out and was just going to move forward with the topic, but it's been a very eye-opening week. Yesterday morning, we found out that my 17-year-old daughter's friend was hit by a car and killed. And it's obviously been a tough experience for her. And for me, it's been a very poignant and clear reminder that we don't know how long we have on this earth. We don't know how long we have to create in this world. And I mean that very sincerely, is that I think we're here to create something special. I think you're here to create something special, and creating businesses and creating meaningful things out in the world through the opportunity of business to actually make money doing it and employ other people doing it. I think that's the greatest gift that we have. What an opportunity to be purposeful in our creation. And, I was just on my other podcast, I was talking with somebody who does hand leather work, and they do these incredible rebuilds of Jordans and they sew them completely by hand. He's got such a gift for the process and for attention to detail and his creativeness, and he didn't want to turn it into a business. He's afraid of turning it. He wants to turn it into a business, but he's afraid of turning it into a business, and for fear that it's going to make it so he doesn't love that thing. And my conversation with him is actually making money doing this thing, creating a business doing this thing, is probably the highest expression of your love for this thing that you could do, because A, people get to enjoy it and they get to exchange value for it, and B, you get to sustain yourself and your family doing something that you love, that you're really good at. So anyway, this is inaudible. I didn't think I was going to open the video this way, but here we are. Our time is precious. We don't know how long we have, and our purpose here, we create our purpose, but I believe part of that purpose is to create, to be creative, to offer something to the world and to get paid for it. Now, tough times are coming. We can see it, the writing's on the wall in the market, and there's definitely a trend towards things are going to get difficult. Winter is coming. And if we're reactive, if we're waiting to see what the world does, if we're waiting to see what the market does, or if we're looking to the circumstances to determine our business, we're going to be in a rough shape. We're going to be in a really rough space, and it's not going to turn out well. When we're on our heels, we make our decisions from fear of what might happen, fear of not having money, fear of looking bad or looking like a failure. I know from personal experience that the experience of making decisions from fear and being on our heels and reactive is a very lonely place to be. It's very exhausting. It's very unfulfilling. And ultimately, it leads to breakdown and failure. On the flip side of that, if we're 2 steps ahead, if we're anticipating where the market's going and we're looking to the future rather than resisting what's currently happening, we'll talk about that in just a second. But if we can stay 2 steps ahead, we will become stronger. The challenge will make us stronger. Our businesses will grow, and we can serve people in a meaningful way in this serious time of need. Every single downturn has an upside. You just have to know where to find it. Some of the biggest, most successful brands and movements were created in times of downturn. So I want to talk to you about 3 ideas that help us thrive in a tough time. Now, these ideas are simple, but do not mistake simple for easy. I make that distinction for a very strong purpose, because one of these ideas you're probably not going to like very much. It is a challenging idea. Once we accept it, once we are willing to see it, then it becomes very simple to us. Anybody can do it. But there might be some resistance when you hear what it is. My invitation is just to keep an open mind. So here in just a minute, I'm going to tell you these 3 ideas, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to apply them in your life and in your business as these tough times come. But first, a story about how I lost all my material possessions, but gained my life. In late 2007, early 2008, me and a partner had the brilliant idea to jump into the real estate game. We were going to create some real estate investing venture. So what we did is we gathered investors, and we curated properties, mostly new construction, some condo conversions, and we paired investors with properties so that they could put down the down payment, but then we would split the profits. And we would manage the properties, we would do all the building, and we would help the investors make some money on some real estate. Now, if you're familiar with this time, everybody was making money in real estate. The problem is that it was a bubble. It was artificial. But I didn't understand this because I was undereducated, and on all these properties, we were way over leveraged. So we got into it. About 6 to 7 months into this venture, well, as you know, the bubble burst. The bottom fell out of the entire real estate market, and it seemed like overnight the values of all of these properties, we were sitting on about 34 to 36 properties at the time, all the value of those properties completely fell through the floor. They were like cut into a third, and we hadn't even finished construction on most of them yet. When this happened, I fell into fear. I made all my decisions based out of fear of what was gonna happen. I was very reactive. I was on my heels. I didn't see the potential of this happening. Like, I feel like I knew it in my gut, like this wasn't quite right. Some things were just too good to be true, but I wasn't willing to see that and be proactive about it. Now, this was a time where a lot of people lost their shirt, but a lot of people did really, really well, made a ton of money because they could see what was coming. They were willing to see it rather than resist it. But I was in the position where I was supposed to make a lot of money, real estate was supposed to continue to go up, and we were supposed to live happily ever after. And I couldn't see the potential downfalls, and even when it was happening, I was in fear. I was making decisions out of fear, and I was watching it wither away. I wasn't willing to have difficult conversations with people that needed to be had in order to make something better out of the situation that we had. I didn't exercise the resources and the relationships that are available to me because I couldn't even see them because I was so scared of what was happening. We ended up handing all of those projects over to the investors and walking away. I lost everything. I lost the house that we had built, the cars that we were driving. Literally, we walked away from it all. I declared bankruptcy at 27, 28 years old, and we started over. I understand what kind of thinking it requires in order to thrive in tough times because I have failed miserably at it. And that failure actually is one of the biggest successes now because I have a type of thinking that is different as I approach tough times. I'm excited. I'm not excited that there's going to be a downturn and there's going to be some suffering that comes with that. I'm not excited about that, but I'm excited about how I can take it on, my mental fortitude. So, of course, we're going to talk about these ideas, and I'm going to talk about what you can do in a downturn, in a tough time. But before we talk about what we can do, we must talk about who we are committed to being. And I know that sounds really weird, but I could give you a to-do list. I could tell you what to do. But unless you're committed in your mind to be somebody, to be something new, the to-dos will not matter. It's the same exact idea that you could give two people a very solid business plan. One of them would make it thrive and one of them would fail, because it's not about the to-dos. It's about who the person is and their commitment to the thing. So I'm going to offer you this mindset. I was made for winter. I'm resilient and I'm resourceful. Now, I know that can sound like some hoopah, whatever, cheerleader mantra, but I actually mean it. Winter is coming, and you can decide that you are made for winter, resilient and resourceful. And when you have that commitment, when you decide that, all of the things that I'm going to tell you now become so much more powerful and useful because you're going to see the resources available to you. And when you fail, which you will, when you fail, you're going to get back up and go again. So let's dive into these 3 specific ideas that are going to create opportunity in any market, especially in down times. So the first one, and this is the one that you're probably not going to like. Stay connected to current reality, meaning don't deny what's happening. Be willing to see what's actually happening in the market, then be present with it. And then finally, in this first one, want for nothing. Expect nothing. You are owed nothing, especially in a tough time. You are owed nothing. Now, what's the beauty of having this mindset? Seneca said this: true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient, for he that is so wants nothing. So the key is, be truly happy with what you have now. Don't want for anything. Don't pretend like if you just had this next thing, then that would make you happy. Be satisfied with what you have now, because then everything that comes after that is icing on the cake. That kind of outlook is what's going to allow you to see the opportunity that's available in tough times. How you can help people, but how you can also benefit from helping other people with their problems. Now that leads me to idea number 2, people's pain changes. The creative act of business is the idea, or is the act of relieving people's pain. Just think about it. Every single product, every single idea is attached to a pain that somebody perceives or feels from their perception. It's not a pain that everybody experiences. That's why we talk about riches are in the niches, right? Because we can narrow down to a niche of people who have a certain pain, but not everybody feels that pain. Now understand, as times get tougher, people's pain changes. When money is tight, when jobs are tight, when the economy isn't moving, people feel a different pain, meaning it becomes a lot more primal pain than when we were in good times. And then it becomes, when we're in good times, the pain becomes a lot more surface, a lot more superficial. So you're probably going to have to change the way you talk about the problems that you solve. So get very intimately connected with the pain that people are feeling when times are tough as it relates to the product or service that you offer. Stay connected to their experience and speak specifically to that experience now. Number 3, remain calm. Remain calm so that you can make sound decisions for the future, not just the moment. Look, every tough time is going to pass. So we don't want to get so reactive that we're just trying to solve the problems now. We want to make decisions that both solve problems now and set us up for the future. If you're feeling tight as tough times come, like if you're really feeling like budgets tighten up, money tightens up, all of that sort of stuff, that is a result of not preparing for this time. So don't do that again. Use this time now to prepare for whatever's coming in the future. There is good times coming. Money will flow again. The market will open up again. Rates will go down. So use this time to prepare yourself for that and thrive now. Another quote from Seneca: "What I advise you to do is not be unhappy before the crisis comes. Some things torment us more than they ought. Some torment us before they ought. And some torment us when they ought not to torment us at all. We are in the habit of exaggerating or imagining or anticipating sorrow." Don't lose this moment. Stay calm because you're afraid of what might come. Stay calm. Make decisions that are for now and for the future. Now again, these 3 ideas are simple, but they're not easy. So as I'm saying them, you may be saying, yeah, Chad, sounds nice. It's really easy to say, a lot more complicated to do. I know. That's why I gave you the mindset of you are made for the winter. You're resilient and resourceful. You can do this. In fact, you have an obligation. I would say, if you're a creator, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, if you're a company founder, you have an obligation to figure out how to do these things. They're not easy, they are difficult, but you're obligated to do them. Now, as you think about being made for the winter, my guess is that as you make up that what you need is confidence in order to do that. Like if you just had more confidence, you could stand, you could be calm and present and connected, you could see people's pain that's changing, and you might think you need confidence in order to do that. I would actually say it's not confidence that you need. Watch this video I just did about how confidence is a lie and what you should do instead. Peace.